clearly?
Yes, yes.
Good morning, students. Here I am Sneha Singh. Last time we completed 2 chapters in political science. First, that is the working of the constitution. Second was the electoral process. I gave you the assignment also. Yes, students. Hope you all have completed that. So after completing the political science 2 chapter, now let's move on to history. Yes, very interesting, and some of you must be feeling boring also. But if you learn history by interest, it is very interesting. You come to know very much things, too many things about our past, about culture, tradition, people, the struggle which we have faced, right? So as the other sir has completed 3 chapters, now we will start with the 4th chapter of History of India Art, right? So here is the outline of the chapter, that is the gist of the chapter, exactly what the chapter contains. What is art, visual art, performing art, art of painting, folk styles of painting, classical style of painting, miniature painting in manuscripts, Western style of painting, sculpture art, classical style of sculpture art, Indian iconography, architecture and sculpture. This is the gist of the chapter which we need to focus. Don't worry, don't be scared. Too many things we are not going to learn today. Okay, let's have a look first. First, let's understand what is art, right? So here, in Hindi, if we call art, what is it? In Hindi, what do we say to art? Students, in Hindi, we call art as kala, right? याद आ गया सबको? Yes. So here, what is art or kala? Art is basically everyone has in it. It is an inner talent which everyone have to express themselves. It depends upon a person to person that how, which type of talent they have to express their emotions, about their talent, how they are expressing themselves in a creative form. Suppose if a person A is very good in poetry, he will express himself in a poetry form by writing his emotions into the form of poetry. Other person who is very good in singing a song or writing a song, he will try to express his emotion in that form. The other person who is very good in painting, he has a good color knowledge, combinations of colors. He is very good. So what he will do, he will try to express his emotions in the form of painting. Whatever comes in his mind, whatever is emotion is running in his mind, okay, he will try to express in the form of painting. The next one, dance. Now you must be thinking that how dance? Here we are talking about the classical or the folk style of dance. Like for example, Kathak, where Kathak is actually the people express themselves in the form of various mudras or the symbols while doing the Kathak. Person who has a very good has a knowledge of Kathak, he will understand what the dancer is trying to say. Okay, next one, that is the sculpture. So these are the various forms of art by which person tries to express themselves. Okay, and if we say that from the past 1,000 years, as soon as we started living settled life, we started observing things and then started expressing ourselves. Like for example, by the way of cave painting, Warli painting. Till the time we were not having the knowledge of colors, we were not living the settled life, we were not understanding the things. That time art doesn't exist. But as soon as we understood our environment, how to make colors, we started expressing. Okay, so this is a small history of art. Let's move on. It is a natural human instinct to want to share his experiences, wisdom, and also emotions. When that instinct results in a beautiful creation, it is acknowledged as art. The artist's power of imagination, sensibility, state of emotion, and his skills are crucial factors at the root of the artistic creation. Just now I explained you this part, that it is a natural human instinct. It is not that I am preparing my emotions. No, I have to express like this only. No, it is a natural instinct which human gets, and it is natural human tendency. Whatever we feel, we try to share, and different people is having different way of expressing, right? So here, that is to share the experiences. Here we need the and also we express our wisdom and also the emotions. Okay, and when I put down all these things, when I'll put down my experience, my wisdom, my emotions in a very beautiful way, not in a hodgepodge way. Okay, this I'll just throw it all my emotions. No, I'll just present it. I am presenting it in a beautiful form, and it becomes, and it results into beautiful creation. Like, for example, I am dancing by expressing my emotions and experiences, and it becomes a very beautiful creation. What it is called? It is called as an art. Okay, students. So understand this, and this question is also very important for the examination point of view. What is art, right? So the artist's power of imagination, sensibility, state of emotion, and his skills are the crucial factors. When artist imagines something, when the sensibility he feels, the emotions and the skills which he has, they are very very crucial. Why? Because it is very important how the artist is presenting his factors. Okay. So I hope, students, it is clear what is that. Please understand this concept very carefully, because the other part is dependent upon the concept of art only, right? Now, students, after understanding what is art, let's understand the two types of art. Here, the artistic creation are of two types: visual art and the performing art. Here, the first understand this, that what is visual art and what is performing art. Visual art, that is which you can visualize. The art is done, the work is completed, and now only thing you can do, that is you can observe. Like, for example, painting. Once the painter done with the painting part, anytime you can open that painting, or you can go to the museum, you can observe that painting, right? Whereas performing art, that it is a live performance. Suppose, like, for example, a dancer. You can see that art only when the dancer is dancing. Anytime you can't go and watch. And next example, musician playing the music, singing a song. Yes, I can understand. You must be thinking, what's the big deal in that? We have the recorded YouTube videos, we have the movies. Anytime we can see the videos of dance, music, song, and all. Right, students? But earlier, this facility was not available. You can see the dance only when the dancer is dancing, when they are playing a musical instrument, when they are singing, only that time. Right? So here, the next, that is, the Sanskrit term for the first type is Dhrit Kala, and the second time is the Lalit or the Anganik Kala. right? So that is what students please note down in your notebook, that visual art is Drik Kala. Very important as an objective point of view. The question can be that dash is also known as Drik Kala, or dash is a Sanskrit name of visual art. Such type of question you can expect. So Sanskrit term for visual art is Drik Kala. Drik Kala, that is you can see, Drik. Then the performing art, that is the Lalit Kala or the Anganik Kala, right? The origin of the visual art dates back to the Stone Age man. When I was explaining you what is the meaning of the visual art, from that only we come to know that visual art, that is the cave painting, Varli painting, sculpture, all these are going on from the time of the Stone Age man, isn't it? Then the many examples of the prehistoric rock art have been discovered at the many sites in the world. It proves that the origin of the visual art is as old as the Stone Age man. When we see the various cave painting, rock painting, Varli painting, so by these sources, we understand that how ancient our visual art is, right? Then the next one, in art, that is two different types of tradition of art is there. That is the folk art and the classical art. Yes, students. Now, after understanding the meaning of visual art and the performing art, now let's see that what is the folk art and what is the classical art. Okay, now here, folk. Folk means folk art, that is in the folk art, there is no rules, there is no regulation. Whatever comes in your mind, you can do that. Like for example, Garba or Dandiya. That is a folk performing art. Whatever comes in your mind, you do it. You just enjoy and you express it. Whereas Bharatnatyam and Kathak, they are the classical performing art. The certain rules and regulation are there. You can't do it whatever you feel. Yes, whatever emotions you're feeling, you have to express, but by following certain rules and regulations. When the set of rules and regulation are followed consistently, it becomes the tradition. Same thing is happening with the classical art part also. Okay. Here, there are two distinct traditions of art, that is the folk art and the classical art. Folk art is a tradition that has continued from the prehistoric times. Students, prehistoric times, that is when the Stone Age people, when our ancient people, they were not aware about the reading, writing, painting also. Prehistoric, that is no sources are there from which we come to know that what exactly happened. History is existing, but there is no sources. That is the folk art. Oh, sorry, that is the prehistoric time. So the folk art is a tradition that has continued from the prehistoric times, and its expression is spontaneous. Expression is spontaneous means that is the way of expressing the action, the emotions, that was not pre-decided. Yes, I am going to perform like this, my step will be like that. No. That expressions were all of the sudden. The expression of the folk art is a natural part of people's way of living. Hence, its expression is spontaneous. Folk art is created by collective participation of the members of the social group, right? here, that is folk art. In folk art, what the people were expressing? People were expressing their daily routine, the way of living, the way of their routine. So they were following that in the folk art. Whereas the classical art, on the other hand, is expressed within an established frame of consistent rules. It needs a prolonged training to master any form of classical art. Yes, so now understand the difference between the folk art and the classical art. Folk art, that was performed by the social group. In one society, one building group, they come together, they came together and they start performing the folk art about their way of living, about their emotions, without following any rules and regulations. Whereas classical art is not expressed by any person. Classical art can't be done by anyone. No, classical art can be done by only the selected people who actually had the training, who had actually got the teaching. They practice a lot. They are the master of that type of art, master of the classical art. Only those people can perform the classical art. Prolong means long period. Okay. So now if you see any classical dancer, performer, or classical musician, so it is not the training of 6 months or 7 months. Okay, I have completed that course. No, they take the training for a long time. That is the classical art. Yes, students. So I hope this much is clear. Simultaneously, you all please mark your doubts, which we clear it in the last part. Then the style in painting. Style in painting, every painter has its own style, right? Classical painter. So different painters are having, different artists are having different way of expressing their color combination, their strokes, their material, their color combination, the features, the figures they take, they are very different. So style, artists tend to have their own method of working. It is known as the style of artist. When a style is adopted by many artists, uh, when a style is adopted by many artists over a prolonged period of time, it may become a tradition. Such tradition gets established as an art style. Various styles developed in every culture which are characteristic of a certain period and region. Such styles are helpful in studying the art and history. Right. So here every artist have their own style of painting. When any artist, when they practice a certain type of painting for a long period of time, then it becomes their own style, right? So if I am drawing such types of figure, if I am drawing only, if my painting is only on the basis of the nature, that becomes my style. Their combination, the strokes, many things. So here, when the certain rules and regulation in painting also, when I am following certain rules, slowly, it becomes a tradition of that type of painting. Yes, for this painting, this is the rules which you have to follow, right? So then, and it is not about the painting only, it is about the all type of art, painting, dancing, music, anything. So like, for example, Lavani is a tradition of Maharashtra. So, so any art which gives you the information of particular period and particular region, that belongs to that particular region area. Like Tamil Nadu, their song, their dance, their painting, those area ka art gives you the information about their region. So the various art styles develop in every culture, which are characterized by the certain period and region. Such styles are helpful in studying an art history. Like Lavani, from Lavani we come to know that it is a traditional dance of Maharashtra, or you can say the folk style, folk dance. So from Lavani we come to know about the history of the Maharashtra. So many things. Let's move on to Indian tradition of visual art. Visual art, that is the Drik Kala. The art of painting and sculpting are the visual art. That is, and now we are focusing only on the now we will do the visual art part in Sanskrit, which is known as Drik Kala. So in visual art, two types of art comes, that is the painting and the sculpting. Sculpting students, people who don't know, students who don't know the sculpting means, that is the when we carve on it, on the stones, when we design, do the designs on the stones. Murti banana, that is a sculpture. So that is also the art of visual. Then the art of painting. Paintings are the two-dimensional, for example, sketches or paintings of the nature, objects, and individuals. They are done on the various surfaces like rock, walls, paper, canvas of different types, and earthen pots. Students, here the paintings, we can't say that on the paper only that is the painting, on this particular part only on the painting. No, on any surface, which is when it is done, that is painting. The sketches and the paintings of nature, objects, individuals, anything. Sketches, in sketches there is no colors and all. By pencil we just draw. Then painting of the nature, mountain, river, trees, sun, moon, that is the painting of the nature. Then the objects and individuals, any material and a human figure. When we draw all such kinds of things on the surface like rock. Now it exists rock painting, but not that much. Earlier, during the Stone Age man period, it was too much. Then on the walls, papers, canvas, and on the earthen pots. Now it is very beautiful when the painting is done on the pots and all, any mud, earthen material. It looks very beautiful. Here, the mural of Bodhisattva at Ajanta Cave is one of the finest example of art of painting. Students, in your textbook, art of painting, left hand side, you can see the image of the mural of Bodhisattva. That is a beautiful example of art of painting, which was done before long years. So you can just see that here. Now let's move on to the folk style of painting. Rock paintings dating to the Stone Ages have been discovered in many countries. That is, here the rock painting, you can't say that it was done in this place only. It was not done on that place. No, dating to the Stone Age have been discovered in many countries. In India, There are rock painting sites in the states of Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Uttarakhand, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. The rock painting in the caves of Bhimbetka are famous. Bhimbetka is a World Heritage Site. So in India, the beautiful paintings on the rock and the caves you can find where? In Bhimbetka. Now let me tell you a short information of Bhimbetka. Students, Bhimbetka is basically in Madhya Pradesh, which is 45 kilometers far from Bhopal, and the name Bhimbetka, understand that how this name derived. The name Bhimbetka is derived from the character of Mahabharata, the character Bhim. From him, the name has given to the place Bhimbetka. And the painting, the rock painting and the cave painting which you find over here, these are 10,000 years old paintings. Right? So very beautiful place to visit, very informative, right? Now basically on rock paintings and all, what they used to draw, which kind of painting was done on the rock. Rock paintings usually depict human, animal, and geometric figure. Why only human, animal, and geometric figure? Because that time during the Stone Age man period, they usually observe those things only. Other than that, they were not observing anything. कुछ था ही नहीं उस time पे, तो क्या देखेंगे? So what they used to see? Nature, animal, human, and various geometrical figures. In the beginning only, we have done that whatever the person or human being see, whatever the artist see, observe in their surrounding, he take those things only to express his emotion. जो चीज हमने कभी देखा ही नहीं है, तो उसे कैसे बनाएंगे? So that is why the rock paintings were containing only these many things. However, the style of rock painting seems to be changing according to the cultural changes from Stone Ages to the beginning of the agriculture. Here, as you only, when any style, any fashion of the clothes, shoes, or hairstyle you follow, do you follow the same style till you get old? When you were in 5th standard, the style of hair, the hairstyle which you were following, now also do you follow the same? No, because time is changing, development is taking place, new things are coming up. So the painting also undergo into various changes. That is, here the Stone Ages to the beginning of agriculture. During this Stone Age time, they were hunting and eating. Slowly, they started doing agriculture. So now they will also include the agricultural information and the beauty of the agriculture in their painting. So the development is taking place, right? So the change is visible in the depiction of the flora and fauna, or it may be evident in the style of portraying various figures and also in the colors that were used. Yes, students, flora and fauna, that is nature and animal. Nature and animal of that time was the evidence in the style of portraying various figures. And also they started using various colors, but earlier only 3 colors were made by the natural substances. The 3 colors which were available in the nature: black, red, and white. These 3 colors were found. You can see majorly Varli painting is done with the white color, right? So slowly, slowly the colors also started developing, but which were made from the natural substances. With the help of rock painting, we can understand the knowledge of ancient people about their natural surrounding and also the way they exploited available natural resources. Yes, so from their painting, what we were understanding, we from their rock painting, we understood about the ancient people, about their lifestyle, about their culture, about their natural surrounding, as well as we also understood how they were exploiting the natural resources. Like for example, for making the colors, they were taking the substances from the nature only, which was very maybe that was very much important and useful. They were exploiting that. The another, you can take the example of agriculture. Agriculture, they were not settled in one place. They were keep on moving from one place to another. So suppose for example, in at one time they were in the one place, like for example at place A, they did the agriculture, they burned the land, they move on to the another place. So this way the land was losing their fertility. And also they were hunting and eating. That time also it was exploitation of nature was there. Animals were killed. Here, the tradition of folk style of painting closely resembles the style of rock painting. Customs such as decorating the house walls and the courtyard, that is the Rangavali, by drawing various figures and symbols or using panels of paintings to narrate stories, help to develop the regional style of folk painting. Yes, so students, now also we find folk paintings at our home to decorate the wall. In our native place also you can see, like for example, Rangoli is also a folk painting, folk art. Then we also do the painting to design our courtyard. So the painting which is done on the courtyard by ourselves, that is also a kind of folk art. And in the folk art, folk painting, the various figures or the symbols or using panels of painting to narrate the stories. It is also like that. Many paintings and the art of the folk style of painting. Why we use? Also, we use it for expressing the story. That we draw the painting in a sequence, and the people who understand what the artist is trying to say. Then the next one, classical style of painting. The ancient Indian texts have explained various aspects of art in a great detail. There are altogether 64 art mentioned in these texts. The art of painting is mentioned as Alekyam or Alekhya Vidya in this. Here, the classical style, as I said, that folk means painting or the art is without rules and regulation. Whatever you feel, you can put it down. Whereas in classical, you have to follow the rules and regulation. Here, the classical style of painting says that there are the various aspects of art which is available in a great details, and altogether 64 art mentioned in these texts. 64 art, different art is mentioned over here, and the art of painting is mentioned is Akhelyam. So in Sanskrit, what we call the classical art of painting, it is also known as Alekyam or Alekhya Vidya. Right. Now, here it is said that to have 6 main aspects, that is 6 main aspects is known as Shadange. Shadange, the ancient Indian scholars studies these 6 aspects very minutely. Now, the Indian scholars, they set the rules and regulation of these classical style of painting. They also said that what all things are very, very important in the classical style of painting. Till these things are not available, that painting won't be call it as classical style of painting. All right. Now let's understand this. First one is Roop Bheda. First thing, what should be there in the painting? Roop Bheda. Don't worry, we'll explain this. Roop Bheda means different shapes and forms. Painting should contain different shapes and forms. It should not be that your painting is without shape and form. The observer, the people should don't understand only कि अरे इससे बनाया क्या है. No, these things should not be there. Shapes and forms should be there. Then the next one, Pramana. Pramana means proportionate depiction of various features of an image. Proportionate depiction of various features, like for example, you have drawn a palace. Palace ka one pillar is short, one pillar is tall. No, roof is into downwards direction. Or any size you have drawn which is not proper only. So the pramana, that is the images, the features of the image should be proportionate. Okay. Then the third one is the bhava. What is bhav? That is expression. From your painting, the observer should understand whether the human figure in the painting is sad, crying, laughing, or smiling, or he is happy or he is angry. These bhav should be understood from the painting. Painting should not be neutral. You have drawn the human figure, but we can't understand only, अरे ये रो रहा है कि हंस रहा है. No. Then the next one, Lavanya Yojana. Lavanya Yojana, that is aesthetic. Here, Lavanya Yojana, aesthetic, that is beauty. Yes, students, when Bhava and Lavanya Yojana, you must be thinking, "Arey, ye to same hai." No. Bhava, expression, that is the outer beauty. Lavanya Yojana, aesthetic, that is the inner beauty. Right? Like for example, the villain of the movie, they are looking very beautiful. But what about the inner beauty? So the painting should express the bhava as well as the lavanya yojana, the expression as well as the aesthetic, outer beauty and also the inner beauty. Next one, that is the fifth one, sadrushyata. Sadrushyata, that is a resemblance to the reality. You have drawn something, okay, Roop Bheda, Pramana, Bhava, Lavanya Yojana, everything is there, but your painting doesn't relate with the reality. You have done something kind of alien. No. Your painting should express the reality. And the last one, that is Varnika Bhang. Varnika Bhang, Varnika, Varni, that is the color, Bhang, that is the part. So your painting should have the color composition. There should be color combination. Red के साथ क्या सूट करेगा, you should know that. Black के साथ क्या सूट करेगा, you should know that. So artist should have the proper and the good knowledge of color combination. Very important that. Okay. Then the Agama text of various religious aspects, Puranas, Vastu Shastra texts explain the art of painting and sculpting in the context of the temple architecture. Here, Agama, what do you mean by Agama? Agama means that it is a religious text. In the religious text, it is already written that how the temple should be, which kind of feature should be drawn on the temple, which kind of gate should be there, which kind of color. Like for example, if you see always the Jain temple is in white in color. That is already decided how the temple should be. Okay, and also apart from that, religious texts, the Puranas, the Vastu Shastra texts explain the art of painting and the sculpting in the context of the temple architecture. So in Agama, where it is written, in Puranas, where it is written about the temple, in the Vastu Shastra. Students, you might have heard many times about the Vastu Shastra. Very important aspect. Like for example, the main door of your house should be in which direction, your kitchen should be in which direction, your bathroom should be into which direction. All these things affects a lot, and this information is written in our Agama text. Everyone should know that. Yes, students. Next we complete. Let's start with the miniature painting and the manuscript. Miniature painting, that is a small painting in the manuscript. Now, what is manuscript? Manuscripts are the scriptures which are written. It can be either on the metal shield, it can be leaf, it can be wood, anything. So the painting which is done on that manuscript, they are very small. That is why they are known as miniature painting in manuscripts. So the miniature painting in the early manuscripts show an influence of the Persian style. The Deccan miniature style was developed under the patronage of the Deccan Sultanate. During the reign of Akbar, the Mughal emperor, the Mughal miniature style showing a blend of Indian and the Persian style was developed. Now here, miniature painting and the manuscripts, what they say? That it was developed when the Persian, under the influence of the Persian style. The Persian style of painting was very, very minute. So the Deccan miniature style was developed. Deccan, the one of the region of Maharashtra, Deccan miniature style was developed under the Deccan Sultanate. And during the time of Akbar, the Mughal miniature style also blend towards the Indian and the Persian style was developed. So under the rule of the Akbar, the style of painting came together. Indian and the Persian, both the styles came together, and it was developed. Okay. Then the Western style of painting. In the British period, Indian artists came under the influence of the European style of painting. An art school was established under the leadership of the James Wales, a Scottish artist in the times of Savai Madhavrao Peshwa in Shaniwar Wada in Pune. He had done a portrait of Savai Madhavrao and Nana Fadnavis. Gangaram Tambet, a Marathi artist who worked with the Wales, deserves a special mention here. He made drawing of rock-cut caves at Verul and Carle. Some of these drawings, his drawings are preserved in the Yale Center of British Art of Yale University. Okay, so before Britishers who were ruling, Mughal. So during Mughal time, we developed the Indian Persian style of painting. After that, when the Britishers came, they introduced the Western style, the European style of painting. And the artists were the Britishers. So in that period, we came into influence of Western style of painting, and the school was also established, who actually was teaching the Western style of painting, and the school was established under whose leadership? James Wales, artist in the time, and that time whose time it was, which period it was actually? It was a time of Sevai Madhav Peshwa in Shaniwarwada in Pune. So you can say that this school was established in Maharashtra. He had done a portrait of Sevai Madhav and Gangaram, Marathi artist. They also contributed in that. And they also, that time the rock cut caves, the drawing were done at Verul. So the exact portrayal of the object of the painting is the characteristic of the European style. Exact portrayal of object. Earlier, painting was done, but not the exact portrayal, same to same. That painting was not there. A number of renowned artists were trained in the JJ School of Art and Industry, which was established in 1857. Students underline that offering courses in the European style of painting, Pestonji, Bomanji, and alumni of these schools made replicas of Ajanta paintings. So here, number of artists were trained. Earlier, few artists were there, but after establishing the art schools and all, many painters started developing. Especially the JJ School of Art, they developed many artists, and the JJ School of Art was established in 1857 CE, and they used to teach the European style of painting. Here, the person, here it is the name of a person, Pestonji Bomanji. He was the alumni of JJ School of Art. So what he did, he made a replicas of Ajanta painting. Replica, that is total same. Okay, so students, here we are done with the Western style of painting. The next, sculpture art and the folk styles of sculpture art, classical style, all these we will learn tomorrow, right? So this is your activity. You need to find out the additional information of the World Heritage Sites in India. There are so many heritage sites in India. In fact, in Mumbai also, there are heritage sites. So you have to get the names of all the heritage sites in India. So students, so we are done with the teaching part. Your doubts are welcome. Any question, any query, if you have, please, you're welcome. Yes, ma'am, please unmute the students who are having doubts.
Students, raise your hands. Students, those who are having doubts, raise your hands.
No doubts?
Ma'am, no one is
Seriously?
raising their hand.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. This is
Yes,
Roshali
ma'am.
here.
Yes.
For Sneha Singh, ma'am, your presentation was wonderful, and you
Thank you,
have
ma'am.
taken us to the pages of history through this pictorial presentation. So that's why maybe our students may not be having doubts. Great work. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes.
So students, tomorrow also there is a lecture. So any doubt regarding today's class, tomorrow also you can ask. So please collect your doubts. Okay.
And for all students, be there till the last lecture. Our next expert teacher is waiting for your response, and be there for them. Okay, don't leave the class. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Sneha ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.